What's good, everybody? Evidently, it's ban list season again, and we have a lot to talk about, as you can see on the screen here. Let me move out of the way. We have a lot to talk about here. This is not a prediction thing. This is not a wish list thing. This is let's just have a conversation about the things that I've seen online over the past little while, and we'll get to it. The first thing that I would like to address is people want Shifter banned. I can understand why, given all the graveyard decks and stuff like that. But this is one of the sackiest cards ever since Max C. I don't think it. I don't think it's the same power level as Max C, but this is still pretty strong. But with all the rampant graveyard decks, I think we need something to kind of play against that and keep it in check. And I know that it can hurt just as much as it can help, but I don't see them doing anything with this, at least not right now. Um, I saw on a list a while ago when I was just kind of auto playing YouTube that people want Magnum up banned because they think it does too much, even as a one of. A free special summon in search is pretty absurd, and then that it can grab just a dragon. That's pretty good. I can see that, but I don't think they're going to do anything with it. They're not going to ban it, and they're not going to increase the number you can play, so that's gone. Now, right here we have on the screen Flamberge. Now, if you look on just everything I got laid out, there's Flamberge here, there's Original here, and then you got Ash and Poplar, and then you have Wanted right here. Clearly, they're not going to murder this deck. I think there's only a couple of ways that you can address this while keeping it playable, because I don't want to murder anything. I want people to at least be able to play the things that they've sunk a lot of money into. And as you can clearly see, there's no Bonfire on here because I don't think that card is the problem. Like, Roto could come to 3 today, in my opinion, and be fine. So, Pyro monsters are not as strong as something like a Warrior monster, or even something like Tinky with Beast Warriors. Pyro monsters are just now starting to get some traction in the game. They're just now being shown some love and attention. But anyway, I don't think the strat is to ban Flamberge right now. I think it would be better to just limit Ash and maybe ban Oak, which I did not put on here. But like I said, you want to keep it. You want to keep it playable for everybody. So I don't see this happening. I'm just going to go through here now that I'm thinking about it and just take off the things I don't see happening or that are even a possibility. I don't see IP happening. They might axe Apollosa, but I don't think it needs it. I think it's too heavy investment. That's just me personally. It might. This is an OTK enabler, and you can just use a link for to make it. I don't think they're going to hit this. I don't think this is necessarily the problem either. Beatrice would be a preemptive hit to the Fiendsmith cards coming out because it's just an easy 6 and a dump and all that. But like, this just isn't going to happen. Why would they ban one of the cards that's going to help push the new engine, the new deck, and then just kind of flop on themselves? They're just not going to do that. This is extreme cope. Deck lockdown isn't doing enough, in my opinion. I don't know why. I'm seeing this in lists everywhere. It's just not going to do anything. Maybe it'll come up, but I don't know. We still got Droll, and you can't Cosmic Cyclone or whatever a Droll. They got to have the one of called by, or they got to have cross out and main Troll. So I just don't see this happening. I really don't. This card should have never been printed. Now you can ban this too, because it can be searched from the deck. So putting it anywhere else doesn't really do anything. This is also another thing that you could do to kind of mitigate the Snake Eye strategy. I don't think this would kill the deck, but it would certainly make them have to change up some shit and play another way. I don't see this happening though. Prospy is a really strong card for sure, and the fact that you can just dig up to 6 and then just select what you need. Choosing cards that go in your hand it's pretty strong, but I don't see them doing anything to this. Pot of Desires and Extravagance and all those things were just at 3 for so long, and then the hitting Desires to 2 and 1, I believe, it didn't change anything. So I think they learned their lesson from that, and this just isn't going to happen. It's just a better pot of duality, really. But that's not going to happen. Now, do I think all of this here is going to happen? The banning of Rivalry goes in. There can only be one. Fragrant, Skill Drain, and Dimensional Barrier. No. Do I think they need to go? Yes. The thing that I hesitate on is Dimensional Barrier. It's probably one of the most degenerate lingering effects in the game, and I think lingering effects are bullshit and they should not be a thing. However, if they're not going to do anything with Sanctifier, which I'll excuse me, I'll touch on in a moment, then this is a necessary evil. And then this has been out since at least Zoo format, right? So what's that been, 7-8 years ago? So by now most players should know how to play around this or through this. Pivoting is a really big skill set, part of a really big skill set, and I think but this here is not going to happen. I think Skill Drain will realistically go to 1, and then I think these will stay at 1. I don't think these are going anywhere, but I do advocate that they need to be banned. Cards that make it impossible to play should fuck off. Sanctifier is the problem. In my last list, I said it would be whatever, but I would still ban it. But now, more than ever, I think it should be banned. I think this thing should go, because even if you get rid of the puppet, Edo is still a thing, Jowgen is a thing, even fucking Christia or whatever is a thing if they're trying to reach that hard. So this should go. This should have never been printed. This is dumb. But anyway, I think we already touched on all of the Snake Eyes stuff down here. Limit this, and maybe ban original, and then I think that the deck can still do some things, but it's not going to be as absurd as it is, and that's fine. This got an errata, so it'll probably go to 1 and then 2 and then 3 like they do. Bulb just paid for the sins of Halka-Fibrax, so this could come to 1. I don't think that it will, but it could. I've seen Fenrir in a lot of forbidden and limited slots in a lot of different discussions and lists that I've seen over the past little while. The only way that you're going to make Fenrir like a shitty card is if you ban it, obviously, then you can't even play it. It's just sitting in your bulk, or you have to limit it. Semi-limiting doesn't do anything, because for a while there people were only teching 2 anyway, and keeping it at 3 is what is absurd about it, because you maximize your chances of seeing it and searching another. Plus you have the field spell, so in a way you kind of have 6 copies of it, but semi-limiting it and keeping it at 3 is not going to do anything. You're going to have to limit or ban this, but I don't think any of that's going to happen. This card it's fine. A Masterpiece could come off, but I ain't holding my breath. They have if you look at the boat and all this kind of stuff, like right here, they have a habit of just keeping shit on the list, right? They just have a habit, and I don't think this is going to come anywhere, especially with one of the later things that I'm looking at. Boat could come back, wind up, will not hand loop through 18 hand traps. Invoker can come back. Again, there's a million ways to stop this now, and I don't think this is as powerful as it used to be, especially when you put it through either of these decks, Zodiac or wind-ups. I don't think either of these decks improve at all if you bring back Invoker. So, these 3 are fine, and as far as Zodiac itself goes, you're either going to get 1 Trident or 1 Barrage. They will not get either, and personally, like I said before, I would rather have the Trident. Trident enables so much more, and there's a million ways to get to your creatures now, so I don't think Barrage is necessary. Meowmoo, it should come back. Electromite, selfishly, I have started engaging in some pendulum strategies, and I would love to play with this. I did not get an opportunity to, but I don't think it will happen. Summon Sorceress got an errata. This may or may not come off. I don't think we have the errata yet, but if they do that, we'll probably definitely see it. And then, but as it stands, I don't think so, as much as I want it to. Heavy Storm can come back. Who cares? Brain Infusion can go to 1, and it would be fine. But I think that if you ban Sanctifier, this would be fine at 2 or 3. I don't really see it getting limited anyway. So there's that. And then my theory behind putting Wanted at 1 is, instead of it being at 3 and then like playing a very limited amount of the Bellstar, you put this at 1 and then it forces them to play 3. So opening multiple Bellstar is not ideal. It's very bricky. I would like this to happen, but I don't think that it will. I think they'll do something else and dance around this. Maybe they'll do the inverse and put the Witch at 1, which I think is incredibly stupid. But this is what I would do. Okay, I think the semi-limited section is fucking bogus and it shouldn't exist. And I've seen these cards put to 2 on a bunch of different lists. First of all, I don't think Melodious is doing enough to warrant a hit to anything. And even if you did put Ostinato to 2, or even 1 for that matter, they can still main thrust and then like force you to hand trap or something, or to respond in any way, and then they're still gonna fucking get it. So I don't think this is happening. Sangan Summoning should go to 1, if anything. 2 doesn't really change anything, given that they could just put in another field spell and do Ancient Fairy Dragon stuff. So ideally, this would be up here. Call by the Grave. It's sacky at 1. It's stupid at 2. So put this at 0 or 3. I personally don't think. I don't think it should be at 3, and I think it's really strong as it is at 1. So if it were up to me, it would get banned, but I think it's fine where it's at. They gotta have it. And then we get to the Unlimbs. None of these are doing anything. Armor could come back to 3, no problem. Isolde's gone, so whatever. Pent can come to 3. It's been at 2 and hasn't done anything. Kieran can come to 3. Magispector, again, hasn't done anything. These are not doing anything at 1 each. The Dragon Rulers, I don't think they'll do anything at 2, so just go ahead and put them at 3. People will try a bunch of shit, and maybe it'll sneak in somewhere, but it's not going to do anything. We have so much more to do against it now than we ever did 11 years ago. So there's that. Colossus could just come to 3 because Thunder Dragon sucks. And I know that people thought that the Nemesis cards would be splashed in with this thing, and it would turn into all these like locked boards and stuff like that. And I'm sure some people have won some locals with that, but this could come to 3 and nothing would change, in my opinion. Reasoning and Monster Gate, they got that new Infernoid stuff, so I think that this would push it. I don't think that they would put it to 3 immediately. They'd probably move it to 2 first and then go to 3, but in my opinion, there should be no semi-limits, so just put this to 3 and see what happens. Diagram, same thing, but with, I don't remember what I did with it, but the Masterpiece thing, this could go to 3 without Masterpiece and the deck would be fine, but even if you brought back 1 Masterpiece, I still think it would be fine, because like I said, with all this other stuff, there are a million ways to play through that shit now. It's not several years ago with limited options, and I know that saying, well, there's an out to it isn't really an argument, but like, this deck is so crypt, especially when you're like limiting all the floodgates and stuff like that. Like, what is it going to do? And then this Naturia card, I don't care. I don't think Naturia will do anything, and then at this present moment, just dropping dropping a beast, I don't know. I think with everything being 1 card starters and so monster heavy and stuff, like Beast and Barkion are just not gonna do anything. So I would be cool with all of this stuff here. Like I said, cards that prevent you from playing and cards you can't respond to, just ridiculous. I think these would be fine. I don't think that some of that stuff would happen as much as, for example, like Electromite, as much as I want that on here, I don't think that'll happen. I think the Beyond and Exceed the Pendulums are pretty good in its stead, to be honest. And then all these semi-limit or unlimited, these are fine. I personally would love to see Dragon Rules at 3 because I still have my old core, and it was really fun. I don't expect it to do anything, but I would have a lot of fun at a local level or a casual level. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section. What's stupid, what's good, what would you do? And I will see you in the next one. Don't be late.